Good morning, afternoon, or whenever this finds you. Welcome to the Cocktail Crew. My name's Hazel, and I'm the consistency coach. I was about to say conspiracy again, Sam. Today, myself and Sam will be shining a light on something many of us experience, the shadows in our minds, the sneaky thoughts that tell you you can't do something, or that you shouldn't do something, or you're just not good enough to do something. And so basically, we are talking today about limiting beliefs. But fear not, we're not just going to name them, we're actually going to turn it round and see how we can help ourselves and hopefully others with us. So if you've ever found yourself second guessing your dreams, this episode is permission to break that cycle. So, Sam, let's get into it.
Hi, and Hazel was really eager then. I'm Sam, I'm the Cortex coach. And as
So,
Hazel said, today we're diving into that sneaky saboteur that lives in most of our minds. Certainly lives in mine, Hazel. And I know
no,
from conversations it lives in yours as well. That limiting beliefs, the quiet, persistent scripts that whisper from the shadows. You're not ready, you don't belong, you're not good
yeah,
enough. um, need to go on. And without realising it, we can rehearse these lines like we're rehearsing a show, like we're casting it into that role at birth. But the truth is we weren't. These beliefs didn't come from nowhere. They've been shaped by past experiences. They've been shaped by society, and sometimes they've even been shaped by well-meaning voices that didn't know better. And over time, they've sort of crystallised into rules that we live by. We don't take up space, don't make a fuss, stay safe, stay small, don't speak up. We've heard it. I've certainly heard it all my life in one
definitely.
shape or another and a lot of it's from yourself as well. You're in a group meeting and someone else speaks louder, and is
You don't want
appears
to,
stronger than you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you sit back, don't you? You don't speak. You don't have that voice. Limiting beliefs don't just nudge our choices. They shrink the stage we give ourselves to perform on. They affect how we show up in relationships, how we lead, how we dream, and even how we rest. Um, so today, what we're exploring, Hazel, what if those beliefs weren't the truth?
Well,
What if
that's the
they are
point,
just
yeah.
stories?
They are.
And without,
Mm.
yeah, and we've outgrown those stories, ones that we've inherited or internalized. We now have the power to rewrite those. So I think today we're flipping that script, aren't we? Because I think the moment we name the beliefs is the moment they probably loosen their grip.
Okay,
I
can
don't
you
know if
give
you would
us
agree with
an
that.
example of naming a belief so that everyone's on the same page?
Yeah. Well, you know, procrastination, let's explore that problem. What are the roots of procrastination?
Well, it was interesting researching this, and this is something I do all the time, and I wasn't quite sure why. There is a specific thing, say it was on LinkedIn, it's something else, but I'm just going to
Yeah.
use that as an example, that I need to do. And I'm wondering, why have I not done it? And then the more I read about this and limiting beliefs, I'm procrastinating because I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I, I don't actually know if I should do this. Maybe it's not right, but why am I thinking that? And do I have to listen to that? That's me telling myself, and there's
Yeah.
no reason. So
Yeah,
I'm putting
definitely.
things off because I think, no, I'm not good. I shouldn't do it. Maybe what will other people think? And all these daft stories that I'm telling myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a big part of it. What will others think of me? Well,
Hmm.
you can't change what people think of
Others.
them, and I'm going back to Mel Robbins and let them theory. We
Lisa Simpson
can't.
also said that.
Yeah, yeah. We can't change what other people think of us. We've got to do what's right for us, don't we? And I procrastinate a lot. I procrastinate in my day job. You know, you've got a long or a tough task. You're going to do all the quick, short ones, aren't you? You're going to do the short wins. And if nothing else, for me, it makes me feel like I've done lots of things.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just part way through one, because that's a long, lengthy, time-consuming task.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like, well, I've not really done a great deal, but actually I have because I've started making headway in this big project or big task I've got to do. But yeah, procrastination for me is a big thing, and limiting beliefs can feel like invisible scripts, can't they?
Hmm.
Often they're so ingrained in us, you know, that we mistake them for reality. They're not always loud, and you know, they're the quiet thoughts that shape our choices from behind the scenes, really.
Do you know how I see it? Do you
Go
know the
on.
sticks of rock you get?
Yeah.
And it's printed all the way
Ah,
through.
yeah.
And that's how, when I was thinking about this the other day, I was thinking, I'm not good enough for this. And I'm imagining all these rocks. And I was thinking, what if I can, in my mind, somehow crumble that away and try and replace them with
Yeah.
different thoughts? But it's interesting if you sit down and really write down what your beliefs are about yourself. And I'm talking negative to start with.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get a good idea of what's keeping you back or stopping you progressing, and it's interesting what you can really come up with that then gives you something to work on.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I've heard that about the sticky rock before, but in a positive, like, you know, when the
Oh,
people do testimonials at work about people, like they say, oh, if you cut them open, you'd have X company just
all
running
right.
through them. It's the same principle, really, isn't it? You know, those
Mm,
limiting beliefs do run through us.
yeah.
I like to think about them as internal gatekeepers. You know, they
Oh,
decide which doors I dare to open.
that's a bit fancy.
So no, they're kept firmly shut. We'll open this one for you, Samantha. It's like
Yeah.
okay. So let's bring some of those into the light, shall we? Let's
Yes.
discover what some of those are. You know, first one, classic one. I'm not good enough. You know, that shows up so many times in moments of comparison. You often compare yourself to others, whether it's, you know, physical appearance. You know, she's slimmer than me, her hair's better than mine, oh, she's so much better at a job than I am, sort of
Yeah.
thing. You know, everything. You're a better cook, you're a better singer, you're a
Yeah.
better X, you know, XYZ. We could go on and on and on, can't we? And
Yeah.
that obviously breeds self-doubt. And maybe when it's and I've mentioned previously, when you hesitate to share an idea in a meeting, you've got this
Yeah.
really good idea but you won't share it, but it may be the best idea that's come about all day. So,
In
you
my
know,
first job, Sam, the very first year, it took me just over a year before I'd speak out in the staff meetings because
really,
I always, you'd know the answer or you'd think this would be really good, but it was my first year and I didn't dare. Now you can't
yeah,
shut me up, but in the first year, I wouldn't say a word, and it took a long time for me to be able to do that, and that was
yeah.
purely based on, well, I better not say that; it won't be good enough.
And I was like you, and I think I've mentioned it in a previous podcast. How, you know, I would never speak up in a team meeting until one day I just thought, you know, enough's enough.
Yeah,
And now, if you spoke to my current line manager, she would say, "Yes, you never shut up."
yeah,
Um, but yeah, you know, we downplay success. Like, you know,
hmm,
if someone says to you, "Oh, you look really nice today," oh no, it's this old thing.
yeah. That's me
We
as well.
do it, don't we?
Yeah,
Oh, you've done really well. I'm just doing my job. But
yeah.
no, take that praise, and we
It's hard
don't,
to. I
don't
find
we?
that difficult. Yeah,
It really is. And then there's also the thought, I don't have what it takes. That's a real, and you hate me when I say this. That's a real close relation of imposter syndrome. And then I wave the flags for imposter syndrome.
I
I
know.
say it so many times.
Yeah,
You know, it whispers just before you make that big step forward, doesn't it? You're not
yeah.
good enough. And sounds like, who do you think you are?
I know.
Who are you to do this?
Yeah.
You'll
Why should
never
we?
be X, Y, or Z. You've
Mhm.
no right. But it's here.
Got to
We
kill
hear
that
it all the
monkey.
time. Absolutely, mind monkeys, definitely. Um, I have to do everything perfectly or not at all. Again,
That's
that's
you.
me. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You told me. It's all or nothing. It's that thinking that keeps us stuck in procrastination or burnout. Dear God, we've talked a
We've
lot
done
about
that
burnout just lately, haven't we?
with Dr.
And
Hamdan, yeah.
we start to fear mistakes more than we crave growth. And that's certainly a place
That's
that
really good
I'm
point,
at,
Sam.
that procrastination and burnout. It's a tough one. It's like,
Yeah,
who
you
am I
fear,
to
what
do
did you say?
this?
You fear mistakes more than
Fear
you crave
mistakes
growth.
more than we crave
Yeah,
growth. And I think that's
that's
absolutely
true.
true. It really
That's a really
is,
good
yeah.
way to put it.
Yeah, yeah. It's that, yeah. And we've had conversations about this, Hazel, and it's certainly something I struggle with in my head, and probably
Yeah,
more recently than ever. I think it comes in cycles, doesn't it?
does
You
sort
get
of,
yourself
yeah.
out of it, then you come
Hmm.
back into it, and it's breaking those cycles for good, isn't it? Really, this is what this podcast's about, really.
I find out when you've done something that you didn't expect you were able to do, that's when it starts to come back again because you've achieved something, and then you go, oh, wait a minute, but
Yeah.
okay, I've done this, but can I do the next bit? And that's what I think you mean by it goes in cycles. It just
Yeah,
keeps coming round.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You come round, have a burst, yeah, I can do this, I'm doing this. Then those dark thoughts come back again. Those,
Yeah.
you're not good enough,
Yeah.
who do you think you are? I'm too much or I'm not enough. They're real common ones as well. This thought lives between the space of authenticity and approval. And this is what keeps people small or quiet,
Yeah.
or that endless shape shifting to fit in. And oh my God, I've had this conversation with my daughter recently. She feels she needs to change to seek approval from her peers, and that's absolutely not the case. But
It's easy to say
she's
that though,
young and
isn't
she
it?
doesn't
Yeah.
see that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's
like
easy
you
to say.
can't. Yeah, it is easy. Yeah, it's easy to say, but
I think I could be guilty
ultimately,
of it at times,
but
trying to.
that
Mm,
doesn't make you happy,
no,
and it doesn't work.
no,
Why should you change your authentic self for someone else, something else, a job? It's never going to work.
no.
It's
Well,
not.
you're not going to be happy. Put it that way.
Of course you're not. Of course you're not.
Anything
Because
else? No.
yeah, no, so yeah, that's yeah. I often think, yeah, I'm not enough, and I think
Same.
sometimes because I think it must be an age thing, Hazel. You probably agree.
Yeah.
I think the older I get, the more vocal I am. And sometimes I can be sat there thinking, will you just shut up? It's too much. But that's because for so
That's
long,
experience as well, though.
yeah, and I think for so long you believe that you have to stay small and you have to stay quiet. And when you speak up, you think, no, this is wrong. You shouldn't be doing this. So
Yeah.
isn't it? It's the limiting beliefs still there.
Yeah. But you're weighing it against confidence you've got and
Yeah,
experience. So you're
yeah,
getting a middle ground with age there. Because that's the
yeah.
one I was wondering about. Am I too old to do new
Mm,
things? This one really plays on my mind a lot. And I hear people like my dad go, too old. What are you on about? And I say, no, but at this age, am I too old to learn something new or to try something out? And again, why am I asking myself that question? Why don't I just go and try it? I don't know. It's an
yeah,
excuse.
absolutely. And I bet 20 years ago you were saying, I'm too young to do that.
Yeah, yeah,
I haven't got enough experience to do that, too young. And wherever you are in your life cycle, you're going to have those doubts. Those
if you've, yeah,
age-based beliefs limit your invention.
hmm,
Why can't we reinvent ourselves? Why can't we, um, change career 3 or 4 times during our
yeah.
working
It's
life?
just what
Why?
we're conditioned to believe, though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
It's how
It's
it's always been.
it's that age-old thing, isn't it? And now, gone are those days where you go into a job at 16 and you stay till 60. Those jobs don't exist anymore. You know, we, the jobs don't have that longevity. Some don't are
No,
brilliant, but the majority don't. So
no, no.
we can't limit that reinvention or that creativity or those second chances. You know, it's like placing an expiry date on possibility. And why would you do that? You know, just because you're 40, 50, 60 plus doesn't mean you can't change what you've always done. Because that's
Yeah,
going
and
to be
use
a
your
really,
experience that you've gathered
yeah,
to combine it
yeah.
all together, put it into a different area. Well, it's kind of a bit what we've done with the coaching,
I think so, yeah, yeah. And if
you
I
know?
thought back to what I did when I first left university, if I was still doing that, I wouldn't be a very good person because I'd be unhappy,
Yeah,
I'd be miserable, and you take it out on people close to you, don't you? So
yeah,
you have to reinvent yourself. You know, I've had
yeah,
I've had one career change, which was, you know, that's not too bad. Some people have more, and you know, credit to them. And working towards the second career change now. So, you know, that's not a bad thing. I don't
I
think, oh,
was
because I'm the age I am, I can't do that. I should have done that 30 years ago. It's not the
I was
case.
thinking about the fact these days as well, we have limiting beliefs can be even worse because things have changed ever since COVID, especially. Jobs are going more through technology. You're having
Yeah.
to learn new skills. You're having to develop different ways of working. We're working from home sometimes. We're out and about. And
Hmm.
holding on to these, oh my God, I can't do this, is actually going to make things even harder for us
Yeah. Yeah.
because you've got to be a lot more flexible and,
Times changed, like you said. COVID's shown us that,
mm-hmm,
hasn't it?
yeah,
The normality was 5 days in the office, no exception. Whereas now it's, you know,
the
hybrid,
webcam and,
working from home, whatever works. And I think by doing that, it's highlighted. You know, there can be some flexibility
yeah,
in the working day,
yeah.
as it should be. You know, and it helps a whole range of people, doesn't it? It
Oh, yeah.
helps single mums, it helps, you know, parents, it helps, you know, everybody.
I
You
didn't
know,
like it to
it's
start
that
with,
flexibility. You know,
but
yeah.
but look what we can do now. And with the courses and that we go on, we don't have to travel down and
Yeah.
but anyway, I'm moving off topic slightly.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not the kind of person who.
yeah, that's
We
me.
hear that, yes. You know, it creates an identity box that you never agreed to, Hazel.
I know.
You know, I'm not the kind of person who speaks publicly, that's probably me, or I'm not a risk taker, or I don't do this and I don't do that. So we don't apply ourselves. You don't say yes. But more than that, you don't even try.
But interestingly, I just said to you I didn't talk for a year,
Mm.
but 20 years later, I did a speech in front of 300 people. So it might
So you
be,
are the kind of person who,
yeah.
that you are that person.
So I don't know if that was a lack of confidence, I
Mm.
suppose, as so much a limit. That's
Maybe it
what you.
was. Maybe you've broken that limiting belief.
Hmm. And I think it'll have to be an individual thing. You know, like I said, you'll have to sit down and really focus on what you think are your limiting beliefs in order to try and
Yeah.
break them. Because I've just realised that now. Now I'd
Mm.
happily go and stand on a stage and talk where I
Yeah.
wouldn't open my mouth before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting, this topic.
Absolutely. What about I should just be grateful?
I say that a
That's a,
lot.
yeah, especially that's especially common in high achievers by all accounts. It stifles ambition and emotional truth. You know, gratitude is beautiful. It really is, you know. It's but it shouldn't be used to gaslight ourselves. Why should you know, I should be just grateful. Why? You're you're in control of your own destiny, I suppose. It sounds really corny, but it's true. Just because you've got a job, why can't you aspire to something else? And you get that spoken to from others. Well, you should be grateful you've got X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But why should that be enough for me?
I think the limiting belief thing there, Sam, could be that it's safe.
Yeah,
Oh, I
Yeah,
better
it
not
is.
do, because if I try and do anything else, maybe I'll have nothing. And so it's a possibility that you're doing it as a safety thing.
Could be. Yeah, yeah. It's like why am I aspiring to change?
I've got this, so
Because I've got this and this is a safe place. To do that, I need to,
take
you
a
know,
risk, put myself out
you
a bit.
take a
And that's
risk.
your
Yeah,
limiting factors coming in. Yeah. Limiting beliefs.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
and limiting beliefs don't just limit action, do they? They limit our identity as well, and that's I guess that's probably the most frustrating part.
What way do you,
Yeah, I
what
mean
way do you mean?
you've so they limit your identity. So I what I'm trying to say is we don't know they're there. So they've become so woven into our inner narrative. They're like facts. So
They
this is
just be,
me. I can't do that because this is who I am, and this is what I do. This is I hear this so many times in my job, and it's probably a real military thing. I need to stay in my lane. Why?
oh, right.
Why do I need to do that? If I want to go there, who's stopping me? Why can't I do that? So
So our
this
identity is
doesn't,
becoming a negative version of ourselves
yeah, this
more
doesn't
than the,
define me
hmm
if I want to do that, that, and that.
yeah,
So why do I have to stay in this lane?
that's old
That's
school,
what
isn't
another of
it?
those
Yeah.
limiting beliefs, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. So I guess the first step to disrupting them is awareness, isn't it? And you've already touched on that, Hazel. We need to
Yeah.
write them down because we're not always aware of them. So and when we can name that limiting
Mhm.
belief, we start to see the places where it's quietly calling the shots.
Oh, yeah. It was good doing the exercise because it's
Yeah,
given me a focus,
yeah,
especially um, because it's such of a vague sentence, if you like, limiting beliefs. They could be
yeah.
anything, and you've mentioned quite a few, but I'm sure there's hundreds more.
Oh God, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
There's many more, and everybody's different, aren't?
yeah.
Everyone's an individual. Then they all it affects people in many different ways. So
The one thing they do all have in common is basically what it says. They limit
mm,
your ability to do stuff that you might want to, or would help you, or help you progress. And that's what these things do. And that's why, what did you call it? We've got to break the break
break the
them down,
mold, isn't it? Break them
break the
down. Yeah,
mold,
break them down, break the mold. Yeah, and move
get rid of
forward.
them.
Yeah. I mean, causes. Let's talk about causes of limiting beliefs and their impact. So, I think limiting beliefs don't just appear out of nowhere, do they? I think
No,
they're often inherited, like we've said at the beginning, formed in childhood when we've absorbed messages without question. Maybe it was a parent who told us not to speak and us was spoken to. That's a really old classic one.
yeah,
Probably not as so much for the
no,
young
yeah.
these days, but certainly for my generation. Maybe it was um, a
Sorry, my
teacher who
throat.
labelled us not academic. Oh my God, teachers are, and you know from this being a teacher, and I know from
From your
experience
daughter,
with
yeah.
what my daughter's going through right now. A teacher that label teachers have so much power,
Oh, yeah.
and just a small innocuous comment can really have a knock-on effect. For some, it'll just wash over. For the others, it won't. I mean, most recently, a teacher said to my daughter, "If you don't gain your GCSE maths, you will only have a national minimum wage job." Absolutely ridiculous to say.
The teacher
That's
said that
that
to your daughter.
comment. She said it to my daughter, yes. That comment sticks. For some, it won't. For her, it sticks, and it's
That would have
caused
stuck with me if I'd been told that. That would have made me feel like, well, I'm not going to do any. Yeah.
absolutely. And let's put it out there. I haven't got GCSE. Well, I have, but not at a C grade. And that's what she was getting. It has to be a C grade for you to have anything a decent job. I don't have GCSE maths at C. I tried and failed it 4 times. I got 4 GCSEs in it, but not at a C grade. I got 2 Ds and 2Es. Hopeless at maths. I don't have a minimum wage job.
No.
But even if I did, would it really matter?
No,
Doesn't matter.
but
You're
that's
working, contributing, etc.
but you've
It's
brought up
just
a
a real,
really good point again, Sam. That just shows you your limit, and that words from somebody else can have an impact that can last, well, even decades.
yeah, absolutely.
Um,
No, it's
so
my job to break that mold
for
now
for your
in her
daughter, yeah,
head. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
There's
Um,
also the subtle gender cues that have taught us to taught girls to be nice and boys to be brave.
Boys are good at maths, girls are good at English.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Boys are
And then
strong,
yeah,
girls cook.
yeah. Boys look
uh,
after the girls. It's like that doesn't work now, does it?
no, not
It's
at all. And it's
different.
quite dangerous to label people,
Yeah,
especially in this day and age when there's
yeah,
all
yeah.
sorts of things going on. But and speaking of that, social media.
Media,
Now,
uh, absolutely. Ever-present voice, isn't it?
I am so glad I did not grow up around having a smartphone and having messages or being able to see people on this Instagram or what's the other one, Snapchat. God, I sound so old.
Yeah.
Um,
TikTok,
all right.
Instagram, Facebook, they're all there, aren't they? TikTok,
And
yeah, I said TikTok.
they're bombarded with images of these perfect girls. And so they're going,
Yeah,
well, I can't go out and wear that because I don't look like her. And wait a minute, is that even real what's on the screen? So I'm
yeah.
pleased.
It reinforces those narrow ideas of what success looks like, what beauty
Yeah.
should be like, what leadership should look like. And
Hmm.
over time, those messages harden into those internal rules. Don't stand out, don't ask for more, don't make mistakes.
Yep.
It's just constant knock-on effect, isn't it?
Well,
And
yeah.
and there's also the impact of past failures or experience of rejection. Nobody likes rejection, and especially when they weren't processed with compassion as well. One moment of embarrassment, and we've all been embarrassed. One piece of harsh feedback, delivered harsher than it was necessary,
Yeah.
and suddenly that belief's born, isn't it? I must then avoid that at all costs.
And again, Sam, that can be a shame because that's not necessarily how you thought in the first place, but because somebody, and depends on your personality, I take things to heart. I really do.
Yeah,
So
me
if
too.
somebody says something like that to me, that is going to affect me. Where if it
Yeah,
was delivered in a different way, so it's not just us that form these beliefs, they come from, like you're saying, other sources and other past experiences. So it's a whole tricky little thing, this
yeah,
limiting
and
belief life.
absolutely, and it's like that criticism, isn't it? It should be constructive criticism, and people can take criticism in different manners. Some people are like your thimble full at a time. Some people are a tumbler. I'm a thimble. I only need a little bit at a time, or I will just literally just melt into a puddle. Really, I can't take a
Okay.
lot of
I love your
criticism.
examples this morning. Go for it.
Really. Well, that was certainly something I've heard a lot about. How much be aware of how much constructive criticism people can take because
Yeah,
everybody's different.
yeah.
In terms of beliefs as well, sometimes the beliefs aren't even our own. They're handed down like blooming
Hmm.
heirlooms, aren't they, through generations? And we've talked about hereditary beliefs as well previously. Family stories that
Yeah,
start with, we're not the kind of people who, or people like us don't.
yeah.
It just echoes, doesn't it, for forever.
Ours was, now just keep that to yourself. We don't talk to anybody
We
about
don't,
it. So, and
yes.
that you know that about me now. It takes a lot to get information out of me if I'm worried about something. That's just because I'm
Yeah,
used to, that's what I was used to. We
yeah.
kept it to
It
ourselves. But
might,
that was done in those days.
yeah, it might be that British stiff upper lip. We don't talk about that. We stay a dignified silent. It's
God, I
like,
didn't
yeah,
know the
it's
Scottish,
okay, but
I don't
doesn't
know if the
pat you.
Scottish do that. Dignified silence. But I can
Oh
look into it
dear.
and get back to you.
Okay, do that. So, what makes limiting beliefs so potent? Is it how quietly they shape our reality? And I think it probably is. They become our unseen editors, don't they, of our decisions, dreams, identities, and they tell us what roles we're allowed to pursue, and which ones are too far fetched as well, which
And
which
this
is
is why
ridiculous.
making awareness of this is really is useful. And I'd love to, I don't know if anybody's going to email us. We'd love to hear some
Yeah,
limiting beliefs
absolutely.
because I think this could be another discussion again
Oh,
sometime because there's
absolutely.
so much to go into and take out of it. But
It's a massive subject, isn't it? You know,
uh-huh,
they keep us in jobs that drain us, relationships that silence us, keep us quiet, and thought patterns that shrink us, don't allow us to grow.
that's my
You know,
worst. That's where I need to focus.
yeah, the shrink us when we've got that application form in draft, but we never hit send.
Yeah,
Or when like you said, we've got that brilliant idea in our head, but we don't voice it. We stay
yeah.
silent. You know, I've seen incredible women hesitate to change their career paths or launch creative projects or speak with authority, not because they weren't ready or capable, because they absolutely were, but because of that quiet, unheard to anybody else voice that said you're not the kind of person that does that.
So it's a
And
case
it,
of reframing, which is something we could actually go on to in
yeah, we
another
just we can. I
changing
think
how
that'd
you,
be a good topic.
yeah,
Yeah,
how you
reframing.
change your thoughts.
Yeah, and I think the real tough thing is, you know, beliefs are often most active. We're on the edge of growth when we're wanting to improve ourselves or
Yeah.
change ourselves or better ourselves. You know, they flare up not because we're weak, because we're not weak, are we? No one's weak.
Oh, I wouldn't
But
consider myself
because
weak,
we're
but
involving in that old story, it feels threatened.
but self-doubt does stop me doing that extra bit more.
Yeah, and it
And it's
shouldn't.
not a laziness, it's procrastination, which I think we did that before,
Yeah, yeah,
which isn't laziness, it's the fear, and it's self-doubt and limiting beliefs all coming together.
yeah. So, Hazel, how can we prevent limiting beliefs from taking root? Because we can't always stop a limiting belief, can we, from popping up? Because, you know,
No,
our brains love a.
I think it's healthy to have some because it makes you
Yeah,
think and question. And I think one of the things I've thought is that looking at how you're speaking to yourself, because you might not even be aware you're doing it. When in your head you go, I'd love to go for that job, but no, I haven't got the qualifications. I haven't got the experience for that. What about if you change how you, why don't I go for this job? Let's see. And if I don't get it, let's get some feedback and see what I can do in the future. So it's changing that reframing I just mentioned, changing how you think about yourself and
yeah,
looking at who is influencing you on a daily basis as well. So social media again, who maybe is your daughter watching as a role model? Is that doing her any good? Who's your friend? Is she negative with you all the time, telling you should be doing this, shouldn't be doing that? Have a look around you as well and see if that's having an impact on how you're feeling.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely tune into your inner language, definitely, isn't it? Swap your thoughts of I'm not all I always mess this up to softer ones like I'm still learning or this is new to me.
Yeah,
Curate your influences. So we absorb messages every day, don't we? So make them empowering. Seek out mentors who model courage. You know, watch podcasts that challenge your
yeah.
thinking. Read books that reflect possibility. Um,
Ella Ringrose is a good. You get them on YouTube. She's
yeah,
very good. Mel Robbins, obviously, we mentioned her a lot, but Ella
yeah,
Ringrose is a really good one too. She's got lots of videos out.
yeah.
It's all about believing in yourself and putting yourself forward. So worth a look. Um,
Absolutely.
but this, we were going to talk. We talked briefly before we came on this morning about celebrating big and small wins.
Mm,
Now,
yeah.
this week, well, sorry, last week, the week before, I'd had, as you know, quite a tricky week, and
Hmm.
I'd it had caused me all sorts of stress and bother. And on Monday, I decided I am going to slow everything right down and take things a little bit at a time. And anything that I achieve, I'm going to be really proud of. And this sounds really sad, but I had to do it to take a step back. And so I did actually get more things done rather than putting it off because I'd go and find something else to do and think, no, there's no point me doing it anyway. I thought, no,
Yeah.
so like you, with my lists this week, and I've gone through a few of the things, and I did what you said, celebrate them.
Yay.
I
That's good.
allowed myself, I don't know, bit of cheese. I don't know how I celebrated them.
Some cheese. I
I
do
don't
love
really know.
cheese.
I sent a balloon up into the sky. I don't really know, but celebrate them
Yeah,
however you want. Even write it down.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And celebrate them like the big wins, even the small ones, don't
Hmm.
you? Raise your inner child or re-raise your inner child, whether you're a parent, whether you're a mentor,
Sorry
or
about this.
just someone healing their own story, let's say. Start teaching the absolute truths that aren't always true. Things like, I'm not a maths person. But make yourself a maths person. Or we don't do things like that in this family. Can be challenged gently, Show your inner child or your
Okay?
actual children that beliefs are editable. I might not be a maths person, but I can get by with maths.
Yeah. And that's it, isn't it? We've got to stop thinking that's us. You're not a maths person. But
Yeah,
like you said, but yeah, I know enough.
yeah,
So why
absolutely.
say I'm not a maths person? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
you
not a
are
maths
enough.
teacher.
No, I don't need to be a maths person.
No,
Reframing it, isn't it? Keep asking
reframe.
who. Says who. Says who. Like we don't do that. Says who. I'm not good enough. Says who.
And
When
it's
that inner
you.
voice settles in, challenge it. Who
Says
taught me
who?
that? Do I still believe that? What would my future self say instead? Sometimes just recognising the voice that
You
isn't
know when you
yours is
hear
enough to start letting go.
people that are quite a bit older than us, and they'll say, "I wish I'd done that
Mm,
when I was younger," and it's almost a regret. But at the time, if you're not going to get past these limiting beliefs, well, if we're not, we're going to be sitting there in 20, 30 years' time saying, I wish I'd done that coaching
yeah,
business startup thing, or I wish I'd
absolutely.
gone on the cruise or something. It could be anything, but we've
Yeah,
got to get these beliefs out of our head.
we do. We do. So I guess, next step for that is some practical tools and tips.
Absolutely.
I think understanding your limiting belief is one thing, isn't it? And disarming them is where the real transformation begins.
Mm.
The beliefs thrive in the shadows, but we need to bring them into the light, don't we? And interact with them.
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
when that hold
Identify them.
starts to weaken.
Yeah. So
So,
identify them. Absolutely.
yeah, yeah, like I said, name it to tame
Get it on
it.
paper. If it Name it to tame it, did you say? Oh, I like that.
Yes, yeah. Get it on paper. Yeah, reframe. You've mentioned reframe. What's another more empowering interpretation of that limiting belief?
Yeah. So try and turn
Yeah,
it from a negative into a positive.
yeah.
Um,
Evidence
so
check as well. Challenge the thought.
yeah, is it actually true, or is it just
Yeah,
something we've been led to believe and we now
yeah,
just told us true? But
yeah.
what
One,
evidence is there to show that?
exactly. One for you because you love to journal. Future self journaling. Right from the perspective of your confident self,
Yeah,
right to your now
I think
self.
that's called scripting actually, where
Mm,
you journal as in what's going to be like in the future when you are this version of yourself, the one that you want to be. I'm sure it's called scripting though, but
okay.
it's an
Yeah.
actual people study it, but you don't
Wow,
have
I
to.
didn't know that.
Yeah, you don't have to. But again, Ella Ringrose is very good for that. She
Yeah.
does the sections on that. But
Mm,
it's a really good thing to do to imagine yourself doing that job or having that house and you write about it as if that is happening now, but
yeah.
it's in the future and it starts to change and reframe what you're thinking and can give you more of a belief about yourself. So it's worth a try.
Oh,
It is
absolutely.
an
I'm
actual
going to look
thing.
that up. Yeah,
Okay.
brilliant. Oh, well, we've got a recipe, haven't we?
Excellent. We always have a recipe. And this one seems to have a bit of gin.
That's my favourite in it.
Gin. Ooh, tastes
Gin.
like perfume. Perfume.
What do you think? Oh, I do like
Uh,
a glass of gin.
right,
So,
so tell
recipe.
us.
Do you want me to go through it all, or do you want to
Yeah, you
go?
go through it
Okay,
because
so this is a bold take on a classic, and it represents the sweetness that comes after shaking up those old stories, I get, those limiting
old
beliefs.
beliefs.
So, 50 ml of gin.
We'll put this up on the Cocktail Crew, won't we?
Yeah,
The Facebook page. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
25 mils of lemon juice.
Okay.
15 mils of sugar syrup.
Oh my.
15 mils of blackberry liqueur, and I love blackberries.
Oh, I don't. Is that an alcohol one? Blackberry
Liqueur,
liqueur.
yes,
Never
yes.
tried
The
that.
the gin and the blackberry liqueur will give it a
Oh,
really good,
the
yeah, blackberry flavour.
yeah.
Fresh blackberries just to add that little zing, and some lemon sliced to garnish.
Wow.
Sounds
And
amazing. So, shake it all up, add lemon juice, add sugar syrup with the ice, strain it into a glass with ice. Crushed ice would be nice. Drizzle the blackberry liqueur over the top and garnish, and sip it while
well,
journaling your
journaling.
future self's
Like that bit.
thoughts. Absolutely.
I think I
Okay.
might just have to try that one out tonight because I'm full of cold. It might be a nice
Oh,
relaxing
yeah,
exercise.
yeah. Might help you sleep.
Hmm?
Might
I'll
help you
have a,
sleep.
it might. Right then, to
So,
close,
okay. Well,
what are we going
limiting.
to? Hmm?
Well, yeah. What we're going to do? Limiting beliefs. They lose their power the moment we bring them into light. We've said that, haven't we? They thrive in silence, and they thrive in those automatic thoughts and those unchecked assumptions. So we've got to see them, and once we see them and we name them and question them, they start to unravel. So I
Yeah.
think what we need to do this week,
Hmm. We'll
and
have a
I invite
gentle
you,
week.
Hazel, a
Hmm.
gentle week, I invite you to do something powerful in its simplicity.
Okay.
Listen in, not to judge or to fix every thought, because we can't,
No.
but just to get curious.
Yeah.
When your inner voice speaks up, pause. Ask yourself, where did that belief come from? Is
Yeah.
it true? Or is it just an old story? And it may be an old story playing on a loop. We've talked about it.
Yeah. And I would
This,
definitely say focus on reframing because that once
absolutely.
you really have to identify it, but reframing it then shifts your negative image of
Yeah.
yourself into a more positive. So I really would work on that.
Yeah. And remember, you are not your beliefs.
We
You're just the
said that's the
observer.
main thing. Yeah.
The person holding the pen, you're the one in control.
Yeah.
And it means
And
no matter what the narrative has said, the old narrative,
we can change it
we
to be
we
whatever we want.
can write a new one.
Yeah,
It's that next
absolutely.
chapter, isn't it? Everybody has a next chapter. And
Yeah.
I guess it's up to us to make it bold, to make it brave, and to
Well, I
make
don't
it ours.
suppose anybody else can do it for you. It has to come from you.
Absolutely, really is.
And do you know,
We're the only ones that can do it and make that change.
I find this really, really interesting. It's a
Yeah.
shame we've got to close just now, but I think we should look at maybe even see if we can get somebody on who's
Yeah,
got
I
some
think so.
insights into limiting beliefs because it definitely is a very interesting and very worthwhile thing
Yeah.
to discuss. So,
It's a
as
huge
usual,
topic.
Sam, it is it's
It's a huge
massive,
topic. Yeah.
and and if anybody is listening in, it would be great if you have a look yourself and possibly reach out to us either on the Facebook page or on our YouTube channel. It'd be great to hear from you. Hope you've enjoyed it, and thanks to Sam, and see
Thank you,
you
Hazel.
in 2 weeks' time.
You will. Speak soon. Bye.
Bye.